Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My stream deck was being funky. Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Saturday, April 30th. Another beautiful day for gaming. Doing some news, hanging out with you guys. Lost Ark Day, Lost Ark weekend. Uh, okay, yeah, that's cool, Pinky. That's cool. Yeah, I've kind of noticed the same thing. Yeah, I've kind of noticed the same thing, but it just depends on the quality, I think. Unless there's like some extended pattern stuff that I'm not seeing. So, yeah, we'll talk about it later. Yeah, yeah, but I've noticed a bit of the same thing, man. Hey, thanks for dropping the Discord info about the Lost Ark VPN news. I'll pull that up today in the segment here in just a moment. So, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Good day, everybody. It's good to see you. Um, let's get started. Let's get started. Again, it's Saturday, so we'll be doing Lost Ark weekend content. So Lost Ark today and tomorrow. We'll be doing more Loop Hero on Monday. Not Loop Hero all week next week. I don't know what we're gonna pivot into next. Lots of options. But um, it is Saturday. We got our Saturday comfy gaming pants on. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Saturday comfy gaming pants. There they are. Let's go. Let's do it. Um, okay, let's get into this gaming news. See what we got. See what we got. I'm ready to do some Lost Arking. Um, if you haven't seen, you're not aware. I did recently, just FYI for everybody in the community, I did recently get both the God of War and our Tyranny playthroughs from earlier in the year uh, up and running on playlists on the YouTube channel. Okay, so if you guys are interested, anybody else is interested, those playthroughs are up in public on the YouTube channel. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I've noticed the same thing, Pinky. I've noticed the same thing. Yeah. Hmm. Yep. I've noticed the same exact thing, dude. Yep. I started noticing that yesterday. Hmm. Yep, yep, yep. I know, man. What's wild to me though is like you go from 100% and you always hit that pattern to like 75 to 80%, and you'll hit an RNG clip of a fight where you'll summon 4 to 5 regular skeletons in a row, and it's like, you know, that RNG seems a bit sus when that happens, you know. So I don't know. Yeah, yeah, I've noticed the same exact thing, dude. Um, Warner Bros. May reportedly sell their gaming studio. Okay, of course, Xbox, EA, Sony interested. Everybody's going to be interested, right? So there's that. Yeah, for sure, Pinky. Me too, dude. Me too. Yeah, that always feels bad, man, for sure. Okay, we'll pivot over to the actual complete news here. Xbox games with gold for May revealed. I think we already touched on this a bit. Well, we'll go ahead and pull it back up just to make sure. Um, we already talked about Microsoft holding Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase in June. Uh, TLDR, Bethesda's new game, Starfield, is dropping in November of this year, tentatively. Right, like that's the date right now. Is that Starfield is dropping in November. Uh, they want to have a showcase to promote. I think big time that game, as well as I'm sure some other stuff they have in the works, right? It's going to happen on June 12th, if I remember correctly. So we'll keep an eye out. We're still about a month and a half away, and we'll see what comes of it, right? We'll see what comes of it. But that's basically what we hit on this in previous, I think it was yesterday's news segment. So if you're interested, go check out that news segment either as a highlight on the channel or the YouTube channel, okay? We hit on this yesterday as well. We've already talked about Kirby previously in the week being, you know, gaming surprise hero, especially at the time when Kirby was created. Why he, that character stood apart from a lot of what the other developers were creating at the time. We read about this yesterday, which I loved. Yuji Naka. I don't think Square Enix cares about games. Fantastic quote, basically from this developer, famous developer, was that don't think they care about games or gamers, right? And he said they as like an all encompassing, and I think it's a very good quote, and that was a rough interpretation of it. I've got it written down. Um, I think there are many devs you can enter into that they space of that quote that fall into that realm, right? They don't care about the games. They don't care about the gamers. All they care about is that bottom line, you know. Unfortunately, but it was good to see this. It had to do with him getting booted out 6 months before a game being devved he was working on. He got booted out as the director of it, and he was trying to make the game into the best thing he could. And they were kind of just, I guess, done with wanting to improve the game, which feels bad. I don't know. Apparently, from his point of view, that's what it looks like, anyways. Always two sides to a story, right? But I will say, from everything that I've seen from Square Enix over the past 5 to 7 years, probably, uh, they've turned into one of those companies that very much just relies on these titles, these names of games that they have a very big fan base of, and it's not about quality all the time anymore. It's just about knowing that things are going to sell because they have a name on it. Unfortunately, the wait for Hollow Knight Silk Song has been so excruciating. Even other games are referencing it. Here we go. There's a lot of people in this community that have been waiting on this game for a long time. I have been ever since I played Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight was one of the first 5 games probably we played on this channel, and I can't wait for Silk Song. We'll read about that. We've already kind of hit on the PlayStation free games for May, so we're not going to dive into that. Stardew Valley players won't stop making increasingly unhinged grandpa death mods. I'll take a look at that. Hopefully, it doesn't have a lot of spoilers because I want to play Stardew Valley sometime very soon. I haven't played it yet. I know, taboo, but I want to play it. So hopefully, not spoilers. We talked about PlayStation's Golden Week sale already. So just know there are a lot of sales on games right now for PS4, PS5, all the way through May 10th. So if you're interested, go check that out. Okay, we hit it on in the previous news segments as well. Following delays, Final Fantasy 16 is near the end of development, producer says. Okay, cool. We'll take a look at that. We already took a look at this as well yesterday. Gaming is a great hobby. When does it become unhealthy? At the same time that anything in anybody's life becomes unhealthy because it is not consumed in moderation and it takes over somebody's life. Okay? Easy. Learn how to consume anything in life in moderation and don't let it overtake responsibilities and things that are important in your life, and it's not unhealthy as far as I'm concerned. So um, there are actually very scientifically proven, researched and proven ways in which gaming is very healthy and beneficial to people on cognitive levels, um, social levels, all kinds of things, right? But of course, anything in life consumed in excess can be detrimental, right? So there you go. What are the benefits of a gaming chair? Pull this up and talk about this, okay? I have never owned a gaming chair that made me feel like I was sitting in the, you know, flight station of an airplane or a helicopter or anything, okay? Never have. One that looks like this, I've never owned a gaming chair like that. The one I have, this bad boy, got some retractable fold up kind of arms on it and stuff like that. Got it off of Amazon a few years ago, and it's been very good, man. I don't know. I've got a little bit of a lumbar support thing that recently somebody bought for me, and I was like, I don't know if I need that, but I put it on the chair and it feels a little bit more comfortable, so I rock it. But it wasn't bad in the first place, um, to the point of where, and I didn't even spend, I don't think like $100 for this, or even I don't think it was even like up to 90 or anything. So I don't know. Of course, again, I've never tried a huge, big, crazy gaming chair, so I don't know if it's worth spending the money on one. We should talk about it and get some people's impressions. Yeah. Here's what I mean. We'll talk about it more. My thing is like, if it's actually been halfway scientifically built to be very uh, comfortable, help back support, posture support, very ergonomically sound for you to sit at a desk for days, for hours on end, like kind of like I do every single day, and so many other people do, right? Then I think it's a worthwhile investment, probably. But I can't ever tell if and I probably just need to do more research. I just can't ever tell if the chairs have actually been developed that way, or if it's just put it together, make it look cool, and make it cost an absorbent amount of money, and we'll call it a gaming chair, and people will buy it because it's called a gaming chair. I don't know. Um, Game Pass is adding two of 2021's most controversial games. I don't think we've read that, so let's dive into that. UFO Gaming launches the alpha version of their debut super game Galactic. Let's see what that's about. 6 free games for May. We hit on that yesterday, so I'm not going to dive into it. Um, we'll here just real quick. I'll list the games out again. That way, hush. So the 6 free games for Amazon, if you have an Amazon Prime account, 6 free games for May are going to be Dead Space 2, Curse of Monkey Island, Cat Quest. What are the other ones? New in-game content for popular games like Destiny 2, Lost Ark, and Grand Theft Auto Online. Dead Space, yeah. Out of Line, Melmo, Express plus Express Deliveries, Cat Quest, and Shattered Tale of the Forgotten King. Okay? There you go. Free games. Go get your free games. If you have Amazon Prime Gaming, go get your free games. Let's keep looking for. Okay, let's change up our search here as we do every day. See if we missed anything. Dive deep into Starfield with these making of videos. I don't want to necessarily look at the making of videos. I'd rather wait until the June kind of Microsoft Bethesda showcase and actually see what they're potentially bringing to us. This is just going to be like potential. There's so much stuff that gets developed during the making of a game that can get scrapped or totally redone, and I don't feel like this is going to really help us out as far as that's concerned. So I'm not going to dive into that this morning. Again, we have their showcase coming in June. We're going to get to see plenty of content coming up that will give us a very clear look at what to expect from Starfield. I'm not going to get hyped about that game because I will not get hyped about Bethesda games anymore. I just won't until they show me that there's something worth, that their products are worth getting hyped about again. So there you go. Ex Blizzard and Apple employee and files labor complaint against Epic Games. See what that's about. NASCAR 21 Ignition to receive 22 expansion. New console game expected in 2023. We'll pull that up for anybody interested in racing games. Um, yeah, we already talked about this. Nintendo should take a hard look at pulling a chapter out of what PlayStation is doing right now and do the same thing. And we've seen a lot of this. This is actually pretty cool. I mean, promoting African history and culture through video games. You've seen a lot of it. I mean, we've seen games come out that do this for all kinds of culture and history, and it's good. The thing that where it gets rough, especially when history is concerned, is um, where games will take factual history and kind of spin it and twist it for what they want their video game world to be. And a lot of these young kids take that history and absorb it as actual fact, and it really skews their educational, background on what history literally is because they've been, exposed to these semi-historical games. They're fictitious. They've been built on rough histories that aren't really true to fact, and it gets rough. But just seeing culture being promoted in games is great. There's been games with like such as this with African culture. There's been games about Native American culture and stuff like that, and Inuit culture. There's all kinds of really cool stuff. I mean, it there are always games being created to, and the thing that it's not just about promoting it, right? Wait, what? Suggesting there were no assassins parkouring around the town in the past? No, that's not what I'm saying. There have always been assassins jumping off, you know, the tallest towers and landing in hay bales and stuff. That's fact. That's not the stuff I'm talking about that's fictitious, you know. Lol. The what's great about the promoting of culture, I think, really, the best thing about promoting culture, different cultures in video games is, again, video games really, their reach is so far, right? And just being exposed to different cultures, not saying that you necessarily have to incorporate it in your own life or anything, but being exposed to different cultures is a great thing. Seeing the world through other people's eyes, the way they've grown up and you know, in these cultures, been raised in these cultures, and view the world, and it's a cool thing, man. Culture is very neat. The culture comes along with, like, you know, food. I love food, man, and we talk about food in this channel all the time. There's food, you know, differences throughout all different cultures of the world, and that's something that we enjoy very much in this channel alone. And that's just one aspect of culture that's very, very neat, you know. And we're always learning from each other in this channel about, you know, the differences in our cultures of food and the things that we enjoy and we're kind of raised with and stuff like that. And that's just a very, very minor part of what culture has to offer. Um, so culture being something that is put into video games to just kind of give people a taste of what other parts of the world have uh, grown up. You know, those other parts of the world are their lives are in, you know, meshed with, and they grow up with, and you know, their views and beliefs and stuff like that. Again, it's not about having to absorb it as something in your own life or anything necessarily. It's just about seeing the world as an all-encompassing place where everybody lives, and getting exposed to other people's cultures, and seeing maybe the world through somebody else's eyes for a little bit, you know. That's all it is. I've been lucky enough to travel a bit myself, and I love seeing other people's cultures. It's a very eye-opening experience, and I think more people need to experience other people's cultures, just because it helps you understand that it's okay for people to be different, man. It's okay to be different. You you don't you don't have to think and view everything the same way. You don't have to accept other people's views and beliefs as your own or incorporate them as your own. Um, but you don't have to hate people just because they view and believe things different than you either, as long as it's not something that they, you know, whatever they're believing is not something that, you know, promotes violence or hate and things like that, as far as I'm concerned. So this is cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, Sonic 2. We'll watch it at some point here in my household. Yeah, all kinds of video games are being developed to combat things like depression and anxiety, and I think people have actually used video games in that way in a very for a very long time, you know. But they're actually, developers are taking a very hard look at specific ways to develop games at this point that are aimed at helping people deal with those issues specifically, right? Which is awesome. NFTs, NFTs, NFTs. Metaverse, NFTs, metaverse, NFTs, metaverse, blockchain, blockchain, NFTs, metaverse. You just can't, it just won't stop, dude. It'll never stop. We talked a lot about Netflix. I'm not jumping in this. Look at previous news articles. We talked about all this PlayStation stuff. It's good. They're setting up a preservation team for their older titles. It's great. Talked about the prom already. Sick. I love pinball. Country's best pinball players come to Milwaukee for Midwest Championship. Dude, that'd be sick. I'd love to go to that. Not even to like participate, just to go watch people play pinball. That'd be awesome. I actually saw a video the other night. It was a little GIF on Imager where somebody was playing a pinball machine, like an not like a super old one, but an older one, and I don't even know which one it was anymore. I can't remember, but the ball had gotten stuck between a couple of different bumpers, and it was just being bounced back and forth really rapidly. They like had their phone out. They weren't even using like they were doing nothing. The ball. I'm guessing it had something to do with the floor the pinball machine was probably set on was a bit tilted that made the pinball machine offset a little bit to where it wouldn't normally happen like that, right? But right between these two bumpers, man, with like the rubber bands on them and stuff, it was just bouncing back and forth and would not leave. It was just bouncing back and forth, and you like they were like took a video of it. And they looked up at the score. The score on the pinball machine was just racking up. It was just racking up, dude. It was hilarious. Here we go. Activision Blizzard's Overwatch 2 game is a lot like the I don't know. We'll see what this Bloomberg report is here, and we'll keep it there. We'll keep it there. Let's dive into these. Yo, that's not what I want. Shut your mouth. Ex Blizzard Apple employee files labor complaint against Epic Games. Former Activision Blizzard and Apple employee Cher Scarlett. What a name, dude. Cher Scarlett has filed a labor complaint with the National Labor Relations Board against Epic Games, accusing the Fortnite developer of refusing to hire her because of her labor advocacy and support of unions. In the complaint, Scarlett makes multiple claims alleging Epic refused to hire her because she supported a labor organization, is working with the NLRB, and has been protesting work conditions. Epic Games spokesperson Elka Looks confirmed Scarlett did interview with the company as one of two candidates for a position as a senior front-end web developer. She said the company was aware of Scarlett's labor advocacy early on in the job hiring process, and it did not impact the decision. This candidate's resume and application included a link to their personal website. Website details their organizational activity, and this information did not factor into our decision to proceed with interviews. In an interview with the Washington Post, Scarlett claimed she had gone through 4 rounds of interviews with Epic between November and December. According to emails she shared with the Post on December 8th, a recruiting coordinator at Epic sent Scarlett an email with an attached request for activity form that asks for the disclosure of any efforts you take outside of work that may overlap with your potential role at Epic. In the email, the recruiter wrote that the company would like to get a head start on this process. Scarlett filled out the request for activity form on December 8th, saying she's been advising Apple members on a labor movement called Apple Together and testifying before the federal government for fair labor practices, according to the form, which was provided to the Post. 2 days later, Epic told her they decided to go with another candidate. We offered the position to someone else who scored higher in their interviews, Looks said. We received Scarlett's request for outside activities form after we had already made a hiring decision for the position and had extended an offer to someone else. Form did not play any role in our decision. Candidates are asked to fill out an outside activity form over the course of the recruitment process. Providing the form to a candidate is not a confirmation that an offer is forthcoming. At the time of publication, Epic Games had not received nor reviewed the complaint. NLRB office is currently investigating the labor complaint, and if it finds sufficient evidence, it will then issue a complaint against Epic. Scarlett, who is now a senior software engineer at Control Z working on a game called Dot Big Bang, told the Post she is still heartbroken over how naive she was to believe this company was on the side of laborers. There is no other explanation except for the fact that I put that stuff in writing. But I was trying to be honest, you know. Scarlett said, this was such a great match that I let go of other prospects and now really distrust the industry at large and feel like my voice, along with voices of others in the workplace, are seen as a liability rather than an important part of making great workplaces. Scarlett has also has an NLRB charge filed February 9th against Mozilla, similarly accusing the tech company of refusing to hire her due to her labor advocacy. Good night. Okay. She also has 3 open charges against Apple, accusing the iPhone creator of stopping attempts to gather wage data, of retaliating against workers, and creating a hostile work environment that forced her to leave in November 2021. NLRB is investigating the Mozilla, Epic, and Apple charges. Apple and Mozilla did not respond to requests for comment. An employer violates the NLRA, National Labor Relations Act, if it discriminates against job applicants because of their union activities, said Cornell professor of labor and employment law Risa Lieberwitz. The evidence that the applicant went through a round of interviews, but then the employer hired someone else after learning about the union activity, raises the question of whether the employer's refusal to hire her was motivated by her union activity, but it will depend on all the evidence. Lieberwitz noted that Epic's questions to applicants about their outside activities does raise the issue of whether the question was overly broad in seeking information that could include applicants' association with labor organizations. The unfair labor practice issue is whether such a question to applicants interfered with the employee's rights to engage in union activity or other labor-related concerted activity, she said. Scarlett previously garnered media attention when she helped Apple workers band together to criticize the company and for sharing her story of being sexually harassed during her time at Activision Blizzard from August 2015 to 2016. She amassed a Twitter following of over 50,000 as she calls out workplace issues, such as an alleged pay gap at Starbucks, where she also worked. She cited the legal troubles between Epic and Apple as an initial indication that Epic might have been a good place to work at after she had to leave Apple. So this is tough because being somebody that has worked in an environment and had had a number of employees that were just constant time sinks. Okay, um, now look, I was also a person that was always trying to advocate for a better workplace for my employees, which seems like what this individual, what was her name? Um, Scarlett. Scarlett. Seems like Scarlett might be trying to do. Might be. Okay. At the same time, it also sounds like Scarlett likes to potentially try to fall back on anytime she doesn't get hired by a company and try to hit them with a lawsuit for saying, basically, like, how dare you not hire me? I am better than all of these other people. That's almost the way this article makes her sound, you know? And I have no idea. I have no clue. I'm always about, look, we just recently hit on this issue. Labor conditions are always getting worse. Most companies don't have a focus on taking care of their employees very well. Most, not all, but most. And that's why we see unions popping up everywhere in the gaming industry, right? So this is a hard one to decipher here. It really is. I think they're going to have a hard time saying that Epic was discriminating against Scarlett based on her affiliation with these organizations, um, especially when she got all the way through the hiring process to be one of the last two. when they can just say she wasn't a fit, as good of a fit for the position as the person we hired. That's to the discretion of hiring managers, really. So uh, it's going to be tough for this like suit to follow through with, and for evidence to prove that like they definitely discriminated against her. I think I could be wrong, unless they actually have somebody on like inside Epic with some kind of recording or text message or email saying, we shouldn't hire her because she's trouble or something like that. I don't think that they're going to get caught up in any kind of issue here. But I do think that it's a tough situation for this individual, for Scarlett. She seems like the kind of person that is advocating for a better work environment all the way around for people, which is great. But I think it is also a rough situation for this individual because many companies are going to see Scarlett. Um, her first name, that's her last name, right? Scarlett. Her first name was Cher, I think. Yeah, it's Cher Scarlett. Yeah. Uh, as a potential problem, right? As somebody who creates problems in the workplace. Uh, so that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, but that's kind of wild. Kind of wild, man. I don't know. We'll try to keep our eyes and ears open, see if anything else comes about this. And again, I don't know this individual. I mean, all I'm going off of. This is the first time I've ever been introduced to any information on this person. Um, I'm just going off of kind of impressions of this article I read. Okay, that's it. NASCAR 21 Ignition to receive 2022 expansion. New console game expected in 2023. Uh, A new product roadmap regarding the future of the NASCAR video game lineup for Motorsports Games was revealed on Thursday, 28th of April, in a community post shared by Jay Pinnell, brand manager of NASCAR at Motorsports Games. In the post, a shed load of detail was unveiled regarding the current game, NASCAR 21 Ignition, and future games for a handheld and console release from the company. Is Pinky still hanging out? Pinky, you still here, dude? I know you got stuff going on with your brother. Yeah, yeah. You still hanging, dude? Product roadmap. Okay. So, look, I'm not a NASCAR fan. I used to play some racing games like Gran Turismo and some Need for Speed stuff years ago. Uh, Shame on what it's Sony that is it Sony that's deving Gran Turismo. Whoever it is, I can't remember who it is right now. Shame on them for what they're doing to Gran Turismo. Microtransactions and yeah, God, just what a crap storm they turned that game into. Anyways, you love to see this from devs though. Roadmaps, man. Yeah, roadmaps. Cool. This is great. This is great. You know, even if you're not into this game necessarily, this is a good process to follow as a game developer. As a lover of games, video game players, we like to see this from the games that we love and the developers that we follow, right? Give us roadmaps. Ignition to get 2022 updates. Firstly, the next gen console upgrade promised to NASCAR 2020 or NASCAR 21 Ignition players has been moved to June 2022. This will come into the 1.5.0 patch. Is for Xbox Series XS and PS5 users. Originally, it was slated for this month, but it took longer than expected per the company. Now, here's the thing. People need to also understand that a roadmap is a tentative timeline to hit goals for what they want to provide for the game and for the community, okay? It is goal setting. So, things could change, but at least they're trying to show people what they want to do, what they're trying to get done. Okay. Patch will include some fixes as well, including a glitch where players would appear under the car in career mode. Also, the patch includes cross-generational online gameplay. Into the summer, another next generation item will be added to the current game. In September of 2022, the 2022 season expansion will be released. Will include the 2022 next gen cars, team rosters, regular season schedule, updated UI, and in-race HUD. Also, Fanatic wheels will be given further support. Next gen car won't be new to Ignition, as the number 78 Live Fast Motorsports Ford Mustang is featured in a test session on the platform currently. Chevy and Toyota editions will be new, as will the entirety of the rest of the roster that will be included. From there, NASCAR 21 Ignition will also have 3 more DLC packs, which will feature alternative schemes, but the details of which those will be are still to be announced. In NASCAR 21 Ignition, there are already 3 DLC packs for the current 2021 season available, which also include legends Matt Kenseth, Bobby Labonte, and Darrell Waltrip, as well as a season pass to encapsulate it all. The Champions edition of the game included Bill Elliott as a pre-order bonus. The DLC will be released in October, November, and December of this year. As it stands now, the standard edition of the game is currently marked down to relative like $30 US at most retailers, with some still having it further marked down from there. NASCAR 22 releasing on Switch. It has finally been announced for the Switch. In the fall, it will be released on the Switch. Building upon the current NASCAR Heat Switch game. Switch received its first NASCAR title in nearly a decade at the end of last year when NASCAR Heat Ultimate Edition Plus was released, containing both the 2020 and 2021 seasons for the NASCAR Cup Series. In essence, it was NASCAR Heat 5 for the handheld console, but with the most up-to-date roster. Upcoming Switch game is said to feature improved visuals, new features, but what exactly those are have not been unveiled yet. Okay. NASCAR 23 will be next console release in mid-2023. Most important piece of the new information is that next console released NASCAR game outside of the Switch game will now come in mid-2023. Original company roadmap had a new console release coming at the end of 2022. However, with how negative the reviews for NASCAR 21 Ignition were received, company stated they'll be moving in another new direction with 23. The 2023 NASCAR game will not inherit the tech debt of NASCAR 21 Ignition as its base, but instead will be capitalizing on the phenomenal work done by the teams that brought you Kartcraft and R Factor 2 while still utilizing the Unreal Engine. Community update stated. Okay, so they're pivoting. They listened to the community and they're pivoting. That's not a bad play. NASCAR 21 took the Unreal Engine and combined it with physics and code from R Factor 2 from Studio 397. The game received mostly negative reviews on Steam since its launch, has not been well received in the NASCAR gaming community. This change means the future game will once again have a new foundation, but it will build more upon Kartcraft, another motorsports game title which also on Steam has very positive reviews, although some of the recent ones have been mixed. So, upon release of NASCAR 21, there were game-breaking glitches to incorrect or forgotten rule sets. Ignition was not well received by many. But since the launch, they've continued working on the game and fixing it. They created the roadmap to explain fixes and additions. At stages of the company answered questions from the community. So they've been trying hard to be very clear with the community and improve the game and things like that, which is good, right? But apparently, the way the NASCAR 21 was developed was not received well. So they're going to pivot, which is very smart. That's very smart of them. So if you're into racing games or NASCAR or both, there you go. Pinky, you back, dude? Let me. I'm gonna keep asking because I need to. I know you're gonna take off to hang out with your brother here in a bit. But I wanted to talk to you real quick about the Lost Ark stuff. Activision's Overwatch 2 is redefining the sequel. Same as it ever was. What is a sequel? Okay. In 2016, Activision Blizzard's Overwatch was the absolute hotness. Candy colored team shooter featuring a diverse cast of endearing heroes garnered mass attention from gamers and non gamers alike, eventually selling 50 million copies. Uh, 6 years after Overwatch took the gaming world by storm, Activision has released a portion of the sequel in closed beta this week. To get access, yeah. You can actually just go watch streamers play the game, and you can potentially get a drop of a beta key. Yeah, full game doesn't have an official release date. Only part of the game is out now, the part that builds on Overwatch's main gameplay, but so far, Overwatch 2's beta is, like the original, a can't put it down shooter with tight mechanics and cool team synergies. Fast and funky and fun and deliriously busy, but just enough not to overwhelm. So far, it's got basically the same mechanics, plus a new mode. Same characters, reworked a little, plus a new one, and similar maps, reworked nicely, plus several new ones. After hours playing the game, I would argue that what I've seen of Overwatch 2 is the same game as Overwatch 1. Yes, there are some significant differences. Teams are 5 versus 5 instead of 6 on 6, and at release, the game will contain a player versus environment mode distinct from its player versus player mode. But on the whole, Overwatch 2 isn't a Terminator 2 style sequel. Activision is launching it as more of an extension of Overwatch. The two games will have a shared multiplayer environment. My unlocked cosmetics transfer over. Most of all, it's free. On release, anyone who owns Overwatch will be able to download some version of Overwatch 2 I've been playing without paying anything. Its other modes, however, might cost you. Activision Blizzard might disagree, although marketing copy on the game's website says it built on the foundation of Overwatch. Former director Jeff Kaplan called Overwatch 2 clearly a sequel by my definition in an interview with Edge. He added, a sequel is a brand new game with new gameplay and features as well as an evolution of the game world. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll keep track. It looks like so far impressions are pretty good about Overwatch 2. Uh, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So it seems like they're sticking to that thought process, and they're not really creating a new game, as it were, for the second iteration of Overwatch. It's more just probably adding some new stuff, a little more polished, um, and you know maybe a better base for the second game to build off of moving forward. Things like that. So Overwatch One has remained very popular. People love that game. So to create something significantly different than what Overwatch is into Overwatch Two, I feel would be a high risk situation for them. So sticking to what the game has done well and what people love is in their best interest, and it seems like that's what they're doing. Warner Brothers may reportedly sell gaming studios. Everybody's going to be interested that has enough money to buy it. Warner Brothers Discovery is reportedly planning to sell off some of its gaming studios and IPs to major players in the industry. Isn't the first time this rumor has come about. In the summer of 2020, there were rumblings that Warner Brothers was considering selling off some of its gaming divisions. At that time, it was rumored that Xbox was interested in making a deal with Warner Brothers. Of course, nothing came of it, but it's not particularly surprising that Microsoft was willing to to reach into its deep pockets to acquire some of WB's property. It sounds like this could potentially materialize as a reality now. According to FanBytes, why? Why is this like half, like 20% down the screen? Like, fix your website. Warner Brothers Discovery may be shopping their game studios and licensed IP, Batman, Superman, Harry Potter, around the industry. Khan noted that major industry names such as Microsoft, Sony, EA, Take Two, and more are all interested in acquiring these teams. Unclear if Warner Brothers would keep any IP or teams for itself or would sell everything in bulk. Also, equally unclear if it would be willing to divide up IPs and studios to different buyers. Either way, Khan stated he doesn't have enough information to confidentially write up an official report, so this should be taken with a grain of salt. Yeah, they previously talked earlier this year about wanting to bolster their gaming division. If you're in gaming, you want to bolster gaming because there's so much money to be made, right? I mean, everybody that's in the gaming industry as a dev or publisher right now, they want more, right? They want more. There's a ton of money to be made. They want more. So they're always going to say that. Um, I'm not surprised. But there's also a lot of money to be made potentially by selling off your division, potentially, right? Especially if you've got a lot of nice IPs hiding behind your gaming development division. So we'll see what happens. I mean, right now, what's potentially in the works here is we've got Ubisoft and we've got now Warner Brothers that are in the works to potentially be sold slash acquired by other companies. So we'll just have to see what comes of this. Xbox games with gold for May 2022 revealed. Uh, Microsoft has announced that May 2022's games with gold are Yoku's Island Express, The Inner World, The Last Wind Monk, Hydro Thunder Hurricane, and Viva Pinata Party Animals. As revealed on Xbox Wire, the 4 games with gold will be available to anyone with Xbox Live Gold or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Excuse me. With Yoku's Island Express and Hydro Thunder Hurricane available starting on May 1st. Yoku's Island Express is an open world pinball game with Metroidvania and platforming elements. Players take on the role of Yoku, a pint-sized mailman turned hero, as he traverses and works to save Mokumana Island. We named it among our top 10 Metroidvania games that aren't Metroid or Castlevania. And in our 8 out of 10 review, said Yoku's Island Express is a novel Metroidvania pinball hybrid. This was actually brought up to me the other day. That stands as something wholly unique and incredibly fun. So this game was actually referred to me the other day as something I should try to play. And it looks really cool. Pinball Wick. Yeah, it's a Metroidvania pinball game. It looks awesome. Yeah, it looks awesome. Who was telling me that I should take a look at this? Was it dang it, man. It might have been Jed. I think it might have been Jed. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it's called Yoku's Island Express, man. Yoku's Island Express. It's gonna be it's actually one of the Xbox games with gold for May. So yeah, yeah. I don't think it's a very long game. I think on Steam it's like 20 bucks or something, but it goes on sale fairly often. I think, from what I understand, and you probably get like 10 to 15 hours of gameplay out of it. I think, but it's pretty unique. It's like Metroidvania pinball, which I love both, dude. I love both. So Yoku's Island Express, man, yeah. But if you have, again, if you have Xbox Live Gold or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, it'll be free to play starting on May 1st. So yeah, but it's funny. It's just funny that this guy. I've never even heard of it before, and it just got brought up to me within the past week during one of my streams. They're like, "You should really try this out. It's really cool." And yeah, it looks pretty neat. It looks pretty neat. Also available on May 1st, but only until May 15th, is Hydro Thunder Hurricane, rocket-powered speedboat racing game from 2010. Didn't receive as much of IGN's favor. 5 out of 10 review. Okay. Later in the month, on May 16th, is The Inner World: The Last Wind Monk, sequel to the 2013 point-and-click adventure game. Players take on 3 characters, Robert, Laura, and Peck the Pigeon, as they embark on an adventure to save their friends in a completely wacky world. Last but not least, Viva Pinata Psych, what's up, buddy? I didn't, dude. I didn't. I didn't. I didn't really get to keep up with any sports last night, man. But I did wake up this morning and see where. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I will. Just a second. Did you see where? Who did Dallas play last night, man? I can't remember who Dallas played. I didn't even get to watch the Dallas game, but I woke up this morning and saw where whoever it was that Dallas was playing had to use Dallas's like what do they call the emergency goalie, right? They had to use Dallas's emergency goalie or whatever. It was pretty wild, dude. It was pretty wild. Did you see that? Anaheim. Yeah, it was the Ducks. It was the Ducks. So he literally like went and yeah, it happened. It happened last night. So he literally was playing goal for the Ducks wearing their gear but like a Dallas helmet. It was pretty wild, dude. It was pretty wild. Uh but they treated him like, apparently it was like a really cool deal. It was a really cool deal. Like they treated him really well. They gave him like the star of the game and stuff like that. It was really neat. It was really neat, dude. But yeah, I'll check the score. Just a second. Let me finish this up, dude. It's good to see you, Syke. Wick, it's good to see you too, buddy. Happy Saturday, guys. Yo, you guys got your Saturday pants on, right? Saturday pants. Saturday pants, right? Canes had no goalie. Leafs had no safety goalie on calls. So the Leafs gave their zone. Oh, dude, I remember hearing about that. I vaguely remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Easy, Syke. Quit teasing, dude. Like Wick's already all over it, dude. Uh, so last but not least, Viva Pinata Party Animals is available on the same day, but only available for 2 weeks until May 31st. This isn't a traditional Viva Pinata, but a party game instead, featuring a number of mini games that players take part in using beloved characters of the franchise. IGN didn't love that one either. 5 out of 10. But there you go. There's the Xbox games with gold for May. Okay. It's like, that was like, I don't even think that Wick had seen your message yet, and he just put ban psych, but it was like perfect timing. Ban psych, yeah, dude. Let me see what this score was real quick. Let's see what this score was. 1 second, guys. Bro, what? Yeah, it looks really cool, doesn't it, Wick? It looks really neat, doesn't it? I'm probably gonna play it sometime soon. Yeah, it's definitely on my list. Yeah, it's not gonna be like a. It'd probably only take us like a day and a half to get through, but it looks like a lot of fun. It's really cute. It's really cute, and I love pinball, man. I love pinball games. So pinball plus Metroidvania, dude. 10-2. What the what? That's insane, man. There were a lot of high scoring games last night. Yeah. Lightning beat the Islanders 6-4. Golden Knights beat the Blues 7-4. Coyotes beat the Predators 5-4. There's a lot of high scoring games last night. That's wild. But 10-2, Jeebus, dude. That's an absolute meltdown. Here we go, guys. The wait for Hollow Knight Silk Song has been so excruciating, even other games are referencing it. It has been a while, like a long while now. Haiku, the robot devs, are experiencing the pain with us. The wait for Hollow Knight Silk Song is so infamous, other games are now referencing it. Well, one game to be precise. Earlier this week, a brand new indie adventure exploration game called Haiku the Robot launched on PC and Nintendo Switch. Within the game, one Hollow Knight fan found that there's an overt reference to the prolonged and painful wait fans of Team Cherry's game have been through for the sequel, as shown below. A new game, Haiku the Robot, has a graveyard with some interesting writing. To those in the distant future, should you find my grave, I ask this: Is Silk Song out yet? That's awesome. If you're unfamiliar with the whole situation surrounding this, Hollow Knight Silksong was first announced in 2019, a matter of years after Hollow Knight first took the gaming world by storm, accruing legions of fans in the process. Since then, we've heard or seen barely anything of the sequel, leading its non-appearance at showcases like Nintendo Directs to become something of a running joke. It's literally like the platforming, like Metroidvania, myth now. Yeah, it's like the myth game. Like we've been waiting on it for so long. It's like it's not real anymore. It's just a myth. That's what I want to start referring to it as. The joke has become so far spread that even Mr. Morris, the development team behind Haiku the Robot, has joined in. Considering Hollow Knight is generally seen as one of the best modern Metroidvanias ever made, it's not hard to see why it accumulated hundreds of thousands of fans in the years following release, and why they're also dang keen for the sequel. Yo, gamer, what's up, buddy? Right now, all we know about Silk Song is that it stars Hornet, yeah, sidekick of the first Hollow Knight. That's basically it. We know not how long Silk Song will be, how much it'll cost, or pretty much anything else about the game. Still, that hasn't stopped Team Cherry's fans from being incredibly excited for the game. Yeah, we just never hear or know anything about it, man. It's terrible. Stardew Valley players won't stop making increasingly unhinged Grandpa Death mods. Modders are currently involved in a feverish dying Grandpa renaissance. What is this, dude? As is written in the Farm Life Sim bylaws, Stardew Valley begins the way so many do, with your character inheriting a plot of land from their dear deceased relative. In Stardew, your kind old grandpa gets a quick farewell scene on a rather shabby looking deathbed where he's conveying his final wishes for you to take over the family farm. Either the modders who years ago took pity on grandpa and gave him a better bed. Oh, sorry. Enter the modders who years ago took pity on Grandpa and gave him a better bed. Suddenly, the community is instead obsessed with giving Grandpa the most inglorious death possible. As spotted by Games Radar, one Stardew modder on the game's subreddit rounded up several new mods in the self-declared Dying Grandpa Renaissance. There sure have been an influx of new Grandpa death scenes, but I'm not sure Renaissance is the artistic nomenclature I'd choose. These These grandpa send-offs are somewhere between surrealism and postmodernism. Here are all the dying grandpa mods, ordered chronologically and by increasingly measures of depravity. Yo, Ava, what's up, Ava? How are you? There you go, that Java. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm about to have to refresh. I've got a little bit of some Java lava off in my coffee this morning. Family Guy death pose, in which Grandpa has fallen and doesn't get up. Slightly worse Grandpa bed. Grandpa's bed is nigh imperceptibly worse than the original. Worst dying Grandpa. Dead surrounded by flies with no bed in sight. Wet himself. Ping pong on Grandpa's bed. Good night. Enclosed the deed to the place and his own body in the envelope. Modders are wild, man. He's not dead, just missing. Grandpa is the bed. Yeah, a truly Dali concept. If you're not familiar, this is a reference to Salvador Dali, a very famous artist. Make Grandpa a Joja Cola addict? Wow. Robin tricked you as Grandpa to buy buildings. I don't even know, like, some of this I don't even know who Robin is. Well, we need to play Stardew Valley. We need to play it. Hush. That's wild, man. Modders are crazy. Following delays, Final Fantasy 16 is near the end of development, producer says. Here we go, here we go. Um, Final Fantasy 16 producer Naoki Yoshida has again said that the game is near the end of development. We heard this, that they were like closing in on it not too long back. Uh, an interview with Yoshida can be found in a free magazine given away at Uniqlo stores in Japan. The interview is mainly focused on the Final Fantasy series in general, which is getting a special Uniqlo clothing line, but ends with Yoshida's comments on the upcoming 16th game in the series. Development of the latest title, Final Fantasy 16, is in its final stages, Yoshida said, as translated by VGC. Final Fantasy 16 aims to integrate the story and the gaming experience into a single player game. Unlike online, which portrays multiple players simultaneously, Final Fantasy 16 focuses on the individual. This makes the story more immersive. It's a very dense story. As an adult, I learned about society and said to myself, reality is not as easy as a video game. I hope that those who once left Final Fantasy will remember how exciting their passion for video games was back then. Yoshida also claimed in October 2021 that Square Enix was putting the finishing touches on the PS5 RPG. I just do not have very much faith in Square Enix anymore, unfortunately. We've been talking about Square Enix a lot here lately. Uh, Speaking during a TGS live stream, Yoshida reiterated that Final Fantasy 16's main design was complete and claimed that the development team was currently finalizing the remaining side quests set to appear in the game. Yoshida said at the time that the game's character models were also nearly finished and that there were only a few quality improvements left to be done on the game. However, providing an update on the title last December, Yoshida said Final Fantasy 16's development had fallen almost half a year behind schedule. Yeah, that's what we read at the end of last year. We read that. With staff forced to work from home, he said the COVID-19 pandemic had led to unexpected production issues that the game's next big reveal wouldn't occur until spring 2022. And here we are, right? This has unfortunately hampered communication from the Tokyo office, which in turn has led to delays in extreme cases, cancellations of asset deliveries from our outsourced partners. That said, we've spent much of 2021 addressing this issue. Hope to see its impact to a minimum by the new year, allowing us to better focus on the tasks at hand. Increasing graphic resource quality, refining combat mechanics, fleshing out individual battles, putting the finishing touches on cutscenes, and conducting overall graphical optimization. Our primary goal is now to be as hands-on with the game as possible in order to see it fully polished. Uniqlo will be selling a special line of Final Fantasy t-shirts to celebrate the series' 35th anniversary. There will be 16 shirts, one for each game in the series, which will go on sale in U.S. stores on May 16th. Okay, cool. I can't not be hyped about Final Fantasy. It's my favorite series of all time. Um, I have a special place in my heart for Final Fantasy. Um, Not that I love every single Final Fantasy game, but basically it's like Final Fantasy and Diablo are those series of games that as a kid really drew me into gaming and RPGs specifically, you know. So um, I hope they do a good job with it. I do. I hope Square Enix, you know, that I have such an issue with that dev right now. I just what's really hard for me is that um, if it is going to be released on yo, that's my mouse pad right there. I have that same mouse pad. That's awesome. Um, if it does get released on PC, I don't think I can pre-order it because I just don't trust Square Enix. Their PC ports are not great traditionally, and even when their PC ports are kind of trash, they don't ever update them. So it makes it very hard for me to want to buy into that. So we'll see. Should you buy a gaming chair? How many of you have a legitimate gaming chair that looks like this? That is labeled and promoted as a gamer or gaming chair to sit at your computer with to game or computer console whatever. Pinky, I can't tell, dude. The Kappa. I can't tell. I can't tell, dude. You throw me off, man. You throw me off. Avid gamers often experience back, neck, and shoulder pain after long gaming sessions. This doesn't mean you should give up on your next campaign or switch your console off for good. Just consider buying a gaming chair to provide the right type of support. If you're not yet sold on the idea, you may be wondering what the benefits of gaming chairs are, whether they have any drawbacks. They might not be perfect. Pros outweigh the cons for most gamers. You do have one? What brand? If you don't mind me asking, Pinky. I don't need like model or anything, but just what brand? Comfort, support, adjustability. I'm not going to read through all this, but I think it's important to bring. I will bring up the price here. I think it's important to bring it up. I kind of hit on this when we found this article this morning already. My chair here. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. I mean, I've got like some fold up. Dude, I've had this chair. It's just your basic chair. You know what I mean? It's not basic, but I've got like some fold down arms on it. See these guys? You got like some fold down arms. I can adjust the height of the chair. I did get a little bit of some extra lumbar support put in here. Apparently Genesis. Okay, I'm not familiar. Do you like it? Does it? Here's my thing. I probably just need to research chairs more often, but I wanted to get everybody's kind of input on how if they've had one before, if they have one now, what other kinds of chairs they've used. I feel fine in the chair that I use, and I sit here for 8 to 10 hours a day just to stream. That doesn't include the time I sit here afterwards. We're still working on channel stuff, YouTube stuff, whatever, right? So I sit in this chair a significant amount of time. Yeah, it's pretty good. You like it? Okay. Um, I'm just interested. I know, dude. Lazy bum. I know it. I know it. That's why you're here. Standing desk? Um, yeah, no. I've thought about it. I've had standing desks at work before. I like sitting down. I know it's not the best thing in the world for you, but I enjoy sitting down. What I probably need to do is get one rando moat time, by the way, guys. It probably would be better for me to have one where I could just like raise it up and down throughout the day to give me a little bit more circulation and standing up would be better for me for sure. I sit here too long every single day. That's for sure. Get your random modes in there, guys. Look, I got wicks, dude. I got wicks. What are we looking for? Going for Porosad. Uh, so the reason I ask is because I've always been a bit sus about gaming chairs and how well they're actually manufactured regarding the research put into them and stuff. Like, are most of these companies building these gaming chairs uh, around actual scientific research of making them ergonomic to uh, not only be comfortable but to address your posture, your correct, where your body positioning as far as needing to be at a desk, all that stuff. There you go, Ava. Nice. Rick, you did get it. That's hilarious, man. Um, are they built to last? Are they I mean, most of the time these chairs, right? Find rocker chairs for less, right? Most of the time, your gaming chairs are somewhere around this price point, right? I just I haven't ever been able to decipher really through my own research, and not that I've done extensive research, whether spending $300 to $500 was worth it for a legitimate gaming chair. I've seen a lot of reviews where they were like, it broke down within a year, stuff like that, and I'm like, I just can't, I can't bring myself to spend. $400 on a gaming chair. It's gonna break down in a year, you know. Um, and to me, if I'm gonna spend that amount of money on something, I need to know for a fact that it was actually built with some research put into it, that it's going to be good for my back, support my posture, nice lumbar, and part of that just goes into me researching it, right? But I've just never had one, so I wanted to get some input from the community on people that might have had one before, um, that's all I was really looking for. There's no doubt that they're expensive. Now, we did come across the fact there was some sale on what, the Razer ones here recently. Are they still on sale? Let me see. No, no news. Yeah, it was 1 week ago. Yeah, Ava, that's exactly my thing, right? Is it are you actually going to get the benefits of spending more money on something like that over what I'm currently using, right? Because obviously, like, I mean, and if I am, then it's worth, correct? Because I do sit here for a long period of time each day. It's kind of the same thing as like having a really good mattress. Depending on what kind of mattress is good for you, and mattresses vary. There's all different kinds of firmness in mattresses. I'm not going to get into that, but you spend a significant amount of your life sleeping. So having a decent mattress makes sense, right? To be comfortable, get good rest, at least the best rest possible when you are ready to go to sleep. Um, I truly believe that. Kind of the same concept here, right? Gaming mattress too. Yeah, yeah. Here we go. Well, I mean, it does correlate very well, right? Like, if I'm going to be sitting here and streaming for 8 to 10 hours a day, and while I don't dislike this chair at all, would it be more beneficial to me in the long run? Tell us Phil's weird bed. A water bed? I have had a water bed before when I was really young. Yeah, I had a water bed at one point. Um, but it's like, if it is that much of a better experience and better for me to have that kind of chair, it might be worth spending the money on. That's all I'm trying to get across. I've just seen so many reviews where it was like, these chairs aren't worth, they break down all the time, and stuff like that. And I just didn't know if anybody had any kind of input. That's what I was getting at. There was this like a week ago. Get big savings on Razer gaming chairs. These things were on sale for like what? And this is the one I would definitely get right here. Yeah, I'll rock some pink. Okay, easy water, but yeah, that's what do they call the chambers where you get into the water and you're like weightless or whatever. That's what we need. I can't remember what they call them right now. I think they actually use salt water in them though, don't they? I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think this was the site we looked at, but here, let's see. Okay, or not. Hold on. 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 1 month ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, they had some Razer gaming chairs here recently on sale. They were like $100 to $150 off, I think. I don't know. But I saw this article come up. I figured we would talk about it a second, and I'm probably just gonna need to give it a shot at some point. Yeah. It feels weird, man. Come up in my chat as text and not the emote. What the crap? I think my chat's messed up. I'm not seeing some of the emotes in chat. Weird. Weird. My chat's a bit screwed up right now, I think. Oh well. That's all I wanted to talk about with it. I don't know. I just probably need to do a little bit more research. Yeah. Xbox Game Pass adding two of 2021's most controversial games. 2021's most controversial games coming to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate next week. And joining it is apparently going to be another one of 2021's most controversial games. More specifically, new leaks have revealed that come May 5th, which is next Thursday, both Battlefield 2042, there we go, yeah, and FIFA 22 could be added to the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate via EA Play, which means if you're a standard Xbox Game Pass subscriber, you will not have access to these games, but according to those that have played these games, you're not missing out on much. Yeah. The former is not just the most controversial game of last year, but up there with Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky, Star Wars Battlefront, and others as one of the most controversial games of the last generation. Yeah, because of how terrible it was on release. It's just brutal. Yeah. Plagued with bugs and performance issues at launch, missing a ton of basic features and content from previous games. Battlefield fans, the game has yet to be unfortunate for Battlefield fans. Game has yet to address all the issues. Meanwhile, like Battlefield 2042, one quick look at the user score for FIFA over on Metacritic tells you all you need to know about what fans of Soccer Sim series think about that game. Neither has been confirmed for a May 5th edition, but both are reading as available on various foreign Xbox stores. In the past, when this has happened, said games were added proper not long after. Typically, EA games are added to EA Play roughly 6 months after their release, so this timing makes sense. Battlefield 2042 may be added a bit later than next week, but should be no later than next month. I bet everybody's just jumping for joy. Yeah? Okay. Well, there's that. This will be last one. If anybody has anything that we've missed in the segment, we haven't hit on, or you want to bring up and talk about before we end the news segment, let me know, okay? UFO Gaming launches the alpha version of their debut game, Super Galactic. New York, April 20. Yeah. So this was yesterday. UFO Gaming released the alpha version of Super Galactic on Monday of this week. The previous week, the team held a 3-day campaign to enable 1,000 community members to try out the alpha version of the new decentralized game. Due to popular demand, they increased that number to 1,200. 20 lucky winners started their in-game journey with a $50 bonus token reward in their TRC20 wallets. Super Galactic is an arcade action game that lets users breed digital super soldiers. All right, here we go, man. It's an NFT game. All right. That lets users breed digital super soldiers, NFTs, and use them to go to battle. Built on the Ethereum blockchain while integrated with the Polygon network, this guarantees low gas fees and minimized transaction times, and they will sell people on the fact that because it's cryptocurrency and it's safe. What was the game that just got hacked for 600 million? Axiom Verge, was that the name of it? I can't remember. Just understand that if you invest in this NFT stuff right now, you are setting yourself up to very, very easily get skamazed, okay? And to easily potentially lose your money. Just understand that, all right? NFTs are not set up right now in a way that are mutually beneficial for both the player and the developer. It is set up in a very scummy way right now. NFTs are to be very beneficial to the dev and are not really helping out players. Okay? Just understand that. If I can try to sway people to stay away from NFTs for now, uh, please just do that. Built on the Ethereum blockchain while integrated with Polygon networks, guarantees low gas fees, minimized transaction times. Blockchain game combines a decentralized auto battler with an NFT collection of digital assets. These digital super soldiers are warriors that landed on a scavenged world with an alien race that threatens the peace of the world. In order to play, users need these playable NFT characters that work as game assets. Players can mint these game NFTs by providing liquidity and staking. This can be in the form of the native UFO token or UFO ETH LP for plasma points inside the staking D app. Only 10,000 Genesis NFTs will be minted. Each will hold exceptional value and increase its price over time until the game gets hacked and it's no longer worth anything. Players who will play the alpha version of the game will test out items and features. These include 2 characters, 2 weapons, some powers, and abilities. When a player discovers a bug, they can report them on the official Discord platform or the native feedback system. Okay, I'm done with that one. I'm done with that one, man. Anybody got anything else? Anything else for this morning's news segment? We are about to work our way into Lost Ark. Lost Ark. Pinky, you're doing some stuff with your brother this morning, right? So I'll hold off on doing the weekly stuff, the the thing, the things, the normal things we do together till you get back, okay, dude? So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'll just do dailies and do some questing and stuff like that. I've got some questing I still need to do, so no worries. Um, so we're gonna move on. Gaming, Lost Ark weekend content. Okay. Thanks to everybody. Oh, oh, okay, cool. Sounds good, dude. Thanks to everybody who's been here for the news segment, who's always here for what we do in the first place. But we will be moving on. And for anybody that might not be moving on to the Lost Ark content, or for anybody that might be viewing this after the fact as either a highlighted VOD on Twitch or on YouTube, then stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we will catch you next time, okay? Also, if you are catching this on YouTube, consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons, and maybe try to come hang out with us when we do these live every day at 6 a.m. Central North American time. Every single day we go live. Every single day we do the news segment before we hop into our gaming stuff, okay? And we have a good time, lots of laughs, just chilling out and enjoying gaming, what it has to offer us, all encompassing. So thanks so much. You guys have a great day if you're not moving on with us. And we're going to go play Lost Ark. Let's do it.